Today, February 27th, 2026, marks the 30th anniversary for the Pokemon franchise. Pokemon has officially turned 30. Damn! And to celebrate this special occasion, I'm going to talk about 4 of my favorite Pokemon. And those Pokemon being Scizor, Hydreigon, Mimikyu, and Infernape. These Pokemon have held a special place in my heart for years. Whether it be the anime, the games, cards, and other media, I have loved these little beings for as long as I've been a Pokemon fan. They mean the world to me. You know, other than God, my family, and my friends. But anyways, I'm just gonna nerd out and fanboy over these fictional monsters. Starting off with the pincer Pokemon, Scizor. Growing up watching the Pokemon anime, and anytime I saw this guy, I knew I was gonna love the episode. When it first debuted in Johto, loved it. When it put belt to ass against other Pokemon, loved it. Getting backdoored by Gliscopod.
Bye-bye!
Huh? Bomba Clan!
Didn't love that. But other than that, this thing was so fire, despite it having a 4x weakness to it. Yes, bad joke, I know. The setup was right there. I never played Pokemon traditionally until Sword and Shield came out, because I was poor. So to fix that, I played a bunch of emulators as a kid, because again, I was poor. And whenever the second coming of Miriam from Hunter x Hunter was ever available, you know he was gonna be on my team. Except for Gold and Silver. He's barely usable. Plus his design is just so damn cool. They took Scyther, made it red, gave it some mechanical adjustments, and you got one of the best looking bugs in all of fiction. And he always gets me out of tight spots whenever my back is against a corner. Technician plus Swords Dance plus Bullet Punch equals one force to be reckoned with. Aside from the fact that him, Scyther, and Kleavor all share the same base stat total. Like, what was Game Freak thinking when they made that decision? But Scizor's is arguably better, due to it having better typing, arguably having better stat distribution, and arguably a better move pool. Now thinking about it, Kleavor and Scizor are really contested, and due to Kleavor having sharpness, I would say he's better, but Scizor has a tough Mega Evolution, so he's the winner. But I still like you, Kleavor. But other than that, I don't know what else to say. Amazing typing, stellar design, awesome Mega Evolution, it's just so damn cool. And also hearing his voice in the anime, just tickled the right part of my brain. Plus he's one of the mascots for Pokemon Database, the best website for all your knowledge about Pokemon. All around, Scizor is a very good Pokemon. And next up on the chopping block is the brutal Pokemon, Hydreigon. Oh yeah, the crash out Pokemon personified. You may think I'm joking, but I'm not.
Hydreigon, the brutal Pokemon, and the evolved form of Swilus. Hydreigon believes anything that moves is its opponent, viciously attacking with its 3 heads.
Yeah, get my guy a pair of black forces now. Even though he doesn't have feet, let alone legs. But give them to him anyways. He can put them on his stubs. But anyways, his design is just too hard. They took the Yamata no Orochi, King Ghidorah, some miscellaneous dragons, a tank, and some hand puppets, and somehow Game Freak made it work. And I love the colors, the black, the blue, and maroon, or violet, or red, whatever the hell it is, it's fire. And it's shiny. I have mixed feelings about it. One day, I hate it. Another day, I love it. The black and purple are fire. The green is what's throwing me off. One minute it looks good, but in another, it looks like throw up. I don't know, me and the shiny have a love-hate relationship. Speaking of hate, this thing hates a lot, which I love a lot. Hydreigon is a smoke demon. Anyone can catch his hands. Or mouths. Anyone. Weak ones, strong ones, ugly ones, pretty ones it's strong against, ones it's weak against. Rivals, done. Gym leaders, gone. Elite Four, out of here. Champions, sent them niggas packing. Other pseudo-legendaries, it don't matter. He don't care. Pokemon's #1 smoke demon. All in all, I love my precious 3-headed dragon. The only thing I don't like is that he evolves at the ever so high and ever so inconvenient level 64. Like, what was Game Freak thinking? I mean, 64 is my favorite number because Nintendo, and it could be a reference to the 5th Godzilla movie, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, because that film came out in 1964, but that doesn't matter. Because it evolves late, I can never use one of my favorite Pokemon on a playthrough team, excluding grinding and randomizers, and in X and Y where they jump out at me trying to rob me from my everything. But all in all, I love Hydreigon, definitely my favorite pseudo-legendary. Speaking of pseudos, Hydreigon had the best verse on the pseudo-legendary Pokemon Cypher. Argue with a wall, cause I don't care. Just listen. Yeah, as I said, best verse. Shout out to Matt Froyo. He cooked with that verse. And next up on the chopping block is the disguised Pokemon. Mimikyu. It's a Pokemon that deserves all of the love. But why? Well, I think I have my answer. Now, how do I put this? Mimikyu is a weird Pokemon.
You need to leave!
But in a good way. It's wearing a costume that resembles the mascot of one of the biggest franchises in the world. That said costume is used for it to make friends, and if you see what's under said hood, you die. Pretty sad, I know. But what baffles me the most is that we know what's under that cloak. Oh, you don't know? Well, I'll show you guys. In 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's what he looks like. Yeah. This Dwarf in the Flask, anti-spiral, depressed Kirby blob thing can send you to God faster than somebody's first Nuzlocke. And that's what kinda makes me like him. How is this little guy capable of catching more bodies than King Von if so much of a gust of wind moves his claws? Is it because he's ugly? Probably. Probably not. But to make sure that he's not, and I'll say this with my whole chest, give Mimsy an evolution where it takes off the rag. And before y'all go, Sales, Mimikyu doesn't deserve an evolution, look at his stats! And Pikachu Clone 30 exists to make Pikachu look good! First off, stats don't mean when it comes to evolution. Look at Duraludon. This was one of the last Pokemon I was expecting to deserve an evolution, even though Archaludon admittedly looks very cool. And 2, don't give me that Pikachu clone BS. They're all different, especially Morpeko and Pawmi, because they have forms and they evolve. But more importantly, the ideas for a Mimikyu evolution is boundless. One thing must be certain. It has to be a friendship evolution. Because after it spends a bunch of time with its trainer, it finally shows its true self because it's love for what it actually is. And yes, I know that breaks the lore of if you look at it, you die, but that's why it has to be a friendship evolution. The bond formed with said Pokemon and trainer is why friendship evolutions happen. Baniri literally starts off with 0-base friendship when you catch it. Just treat Mimsy like that, but on steroids. Plus you can fix the dick entries of if you look at it, you die, by saying that if you don't have any love for Mimikyu and you look under its hood, you die. It's foolproof. Catch a Mimikyu, make it have 0-base friendship just like Baniri, raise its friendship in every possible way, and when the bonds between Mimikyu and its trainer have reached its pinnacle, aka when Mimikyu reaches max friendship, or happiness, or whatever, it will feel like it can trust its trainer and itself enough to not be afraid anymore, taking off its hood, and finally evolving. And just like Baniri, it learns return as it evolves. Boom! There, Pokemon Company, I just gave y'all a free Mimikyu evolution method. And just like in my Halloween video,
Game Freak! Do you hear me, Game Freak? Please give my boy Mimikyu a friendship evolution!
Or a regional form that functions the exact same way.
And my life is yours!
Pokemon, Game Freak, Nintendo, if you're listening, please give me and all the other Mimikyu fans out there this one. Please give us the Mimikyu evolution. But even if that doesn't happen, look on the bright side, Mimikyu. You may not be loved as much in verse, but in reality, you're a star. All in all, I love Mimikyu to bunches. But there's still one Pokemon I love more than Mimikyu. more than Hydreigon, and more than Scizor. And that Pokemon being the Flame Pokemon himself, Infernape. Yes, who would have guessed? The Sun Wukong inspiration, one of my favorite animals, and the banner for my channel, the Crash Out Demon, Infernape would be my favorite Pokemon. Where do I even start? The design is peak. The flames on its ass transforming into a crown of flames is just fire. And yes, pun fully intended. Plus the gold markings adorning its body is just the chef's kiss to Pokemon's best monkey design. Also, when Simisear is one of my and Japan's least favorite Pokemon, it just makes Pokemon Sun Wukong look even better. But my love for my favorite Pokemon starts with the anime, as it was a wee baby Chimchar. Fuck that nigga Paul! In Journeys, I can be lenient with him, he's cool. But in Gen 4, Kid Me hated his ass. And after releasing my boy for doing the stuff that he did, by the way, only added fuel to that fire. But when the goat picked up the pieces of the Pokemon, the puzzle of peakness would be solved. Gym leaders, done. Evil teams, gone. Crash outs, we've had some mishaps, but we've persevered. And rivals handled in one of the best showdowns in Pokemon history. It's enough to make a grown man cry. And in the games, my boy be going crazy. It is the staple to every Gen 4 team of mine. Mainly Platinum. That's the only way to play Gen 4. Diamond, it gets a pass because it was my first game. Pearl, I guess. We don't talk about BDSP. And Legends Arceus, I literally benched my starter the first time I saw Alpha Infernape. Sorry, Typhlosion. But speaking of Legends Arceus, look at my team! Look at my guys! Look at my dudes! But as much as I love Infernape, I thought he'd be a little taller, cause in reality, he's only 3'11". He's the size of a small child, but that's fine. I love my little guy all the same. All in all, if you can't tell, I love this Pokemon. Peak design, amazing evolutionary line, great stats, solid abilities, diverse move pool, a part of a trio that hasn't gotten shit. Could beat my GOAT Superman, Frieza's least favorite thing ever, and my favorite Pokemon. And I don't think that's ever gonna change. Scizor's design is cool and immaculate, Hydreigon's a battle-hungry crash out, and if Mimikyu ever gets an evolution, it might be my new favorite, but for now, Infernape will stay at the top and hold the place as my number one Pokemon. Anyways, I'm done. I'ma go take a nap now. God bless, and goodbye. Oh, and happy Pokemon Day as well. Just watched the newest Pokemon present, and it was pretty good. Winds and Waves are coming out next year, which is a good thing. And just off the teaser, they done got me salivating. The starters are all super cute. Brout is just a beanie birdie. I love it. Gekwa is a water lizard. I love reptiles. Again, love it. It is already better than Sobble. Fight me on it. And Pom Bon, Wonton, John with a metal plate in his jaw? I'm choosing him, and I'm not switching up for anybody. I'm choosing Winds, and I'm choosing the Fire Dog. Also, Time Steady mentioned, let's go! You made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. Now like and subscribe for more content that you didn't ask for. Bye.